Hello, I'm Tom Meehan from Plainfield Fitness and Fight Training. Today we're going to be going over the use of the slip or rope line. The slip line is an excellent and inexpensive tool for developing and practicing your defensive skills at home and in the gym. The one we use here in our workout space is actually a tie-down cord that I got at the hardware store, and we have it attached to the opposite wall using a bungee cord to keep it taut. The first step in using the slip line is ensuring that you have it hung from the correct height. The height that I always recommend that my fighters use is one where, when they're in their fighting stance, that the rope is right at the level of their shoulder, which this one is set right from my height right now. In the gym here, we use a number of hooks on a pole to be able to adjust the height for different height fighters. We have the same line of hooks on the other side of the room so that we can easily adjust this in between rounds for different fighters of different heights. There are two schools of thought on the bob and weave. The first school of thought involves just simply dropping down by the knees and going under the rope. The second rule, or the second school of thought, is to actually slip away from the rope, bob, and weave under. So you'd slip away and go under. The important thing with both of these is that you're bending from the knees. You don't want to be bending from the waist to get under, because that leaves you one set up for someone throwing a uppercut or a knee, as well as when you're coming up, you're not in a good position to throw a strong punch. Bending from the knees, you're set to be able to throw a punch because you are upright and you can see your opponent the whole time. Once you're comfortable with the bob and weave from a stationary position, it's time to add footwork. I start my fighters out with the rope line on their left shoulder and hands up, and taking a step with the left foot forward, you're bobbing under towards the left, bobbing and weaving under towards the left. Take a step and up. Then simply go back under, step up, go back under. And then the reverse of that is we're going backwards. We're starting with the rope over the right shoulder, hands up. I'm going to step back with the right leg and bob under. Step, step. After you're comfortable with the bob and weave in the stationary position as well as going up and down the rope, it's time to start adding in punches. Initially, I have my fighters start with adding in the lead jab off of each bob and weave. And simply for doing this, we're starting by that left step, up, come up, jab, 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 then going backwards. We actually move into throwing the left hook and the right cross, our next step. So we go starting off with the rope on the left shoulder, going under, left hook, right cross, left hook, right cross. We also still do the same thing going backwards. So here, the final phase in this breakdown that I use in the gym is what I call working off the line or stepping off the line. Simply, once you're used to being on the line, going up and back, throwing your punches off of it, you want to be able to also, whether you're coming forward or back, be able to pivot off, work your way back in. So you're throwing punches above or below the line. You can be throwing combinations, but you want to be able to get in and be able to work out. So you're not completely restricted to using the line as it is right here. You're not restricted to completely forward and back or linear footwork. It's good to be able to use step off, be able to use footwork getting to the side, use the line as a marker for how far away you are. where your opponent would be. Essentially, use your imagination, which I always encourage my fighters to do, which is why we do drills like this, do lots of shadow boxing also. Something additional I wanted to add was one of the checks that you can use to make sure that you're actually bobbing and weaving under the slip line correctly is that you should actually be feeling it in your quads or in the front part of your legs when you're doing this, especially when you're learning to just go up and back or at the very early phases where you don't have much work where you're upright but you're doing a lot of continuous going under and back. You're going to feel it in your quads because they're not used to doing that type of movement. If you're feeling it in your back, in your low back especially, then you're bending too much from the waist. It's a way that it's something that people frequently do to avoid getting that burn in the quads. They'll start leaning forward or cheating themselves really. I thought I should just mention that because it's a good self-check to know if you're actually doing this correctly. I hope this has been a useful video for everybody out there, and as I said, this is a very inexpensive piece of equipment, and I encourage everybody to use it because it has fantastic benefits in being able to just drill these techniques into you so that it's easy to use once you're in the ring. Thank you again.